All right, we are going to give it just 1 or 2 more minutes, everyone. There's still some folks trickling in here, and then we'll get started shortly. I hope everyone has either brought some supplies, or if not, it'll be great to follow along, and we'll send out the recording of this after, so you can do it on your own time then. But let's get started. I am Laura McDonough with AARP Vermont. Thank you all so much for joining us today. AARP is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for all as we age. And one of the ways we do that is through events like this. So be sure to check out our website at aarp.org/VP. I'll put that in the chat in a moment. And you can find all of our upcoming events and initiatives there under the events section. And now I'd like to introduce Arwen Turner and Myra Peffer from Come Alive Outside. They are an amazing organization and amazing women who are going to lead us through today's session. Throughout the session, if you have any questions, we will pause at a couple different moments to take those. And in the meantime, if you'd rather put your questions into the chat, you're welcome to do that as well. So now I will turn it over to Arwen and Myra. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Are you able to see it? Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited to be talking with you all about the Winter Wellness Passports today. Before we jump into the fun and excitement of Myra taking you through one of the activities that is a sample activity from a Winter Wellness Passport, I wanted to talk a little bit about Come Alive Outside and what we do, and then also take you through the process of how you'll register to be part of this program. So a little bit about our why. Folks spend around half as much time outside now that they did in the 1980s and before. And if you were anything like me growing up, we used to come home when it was dusk. That was kind of the sign to come home. You know, kids ran and played, and we were outside for probably 3 to 4 hours a day. The combination of sedentary lifestyles and a reduction in time outside has had a lot of negative impacts in health and well-being. And currently, amid the pandemic, children and adults are experiencing really high rates of stress, anxiety, and depression. Spending time outdoors has been proven to lower stress and anxiety, lower symptoms of depression, decrease blood pressure, increase physical activity and immunity, and put you in a better mood. So basically, nature is just good medicine. And what we do at Come Alive Outside is we connect communities to the health benefits of the outdoors. A couple of the programs that we do for community health, we have 4 core programs. And right now, this year, we're going to be serving 20,000 people with these programs in Vermont and across North America. So we have a Kids Passport program, and this hyper-local program gives family added incentive to stay active and take advantage of access to nearby nature. Kids earn points and win prizes for visiting local parks, farmers markets, and community events to complete tasks. We have a Park RX program in Rutland County, and that program is one where providers actually refer folks to our program, and we have a 12-week cohort where we do one-on-one weekly health coaching and help folks set goals and stick to those goals of spending time outside. We have a Mile a Day program, which is a walking challenge that encourages individuals and teams from work sites and organizations to establish and track healthy walking habits. And our newest program is our Adult Passport program. Even small amounts of time outside can improve mental and physical well-being. And so our Adult Passports are designed to connect adults with nature to increase time spent outdoors, increase physical activity, and decrease stress and anxiety. Last year was the first year that we had the opportunity to pilot outdoor passports, and we were able to do this with a grant from the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness. It was such a success that we had a winter wellness passport, knowing that last winter was going to be a really difficult year for a lot of us because of isolation, because of being disconnected from our families, because of just the stress and anxiety of what was happening in a pandemic world. And so we thought that we would have 500 people in this winter wellness passport. We ended up having over 2,000 participants, and the results that came back were amazing. We looked at who was participating in this program, and we found that across the board in all of our programs that serve adults, that 69% of the participants were over 50, and 98% of older adults who participate in our programs reported an increase in mental well-being, and 90% reported an increase in physical activity. So this got us to thinking, well, we need to do this winter wellness passport again, but this year, let's cater it to the folks who are really enjoying it the most and getting the most out of it. And so this year, we're going to be doing a winter wellness passport again. And with partners like AARP, we've decided that we're going to make this winter wellness passport created with older Vermonters in mind. So we have 35 plus activities that are connected to nature and promote time outdoors. They're choose your own adventure activities. So you go through and you decide based on your interest and abilities, what activities feel right for you. Also, it can be based on the day. There are some days where I'm not going outside. It's -9 degrees. So maybe that day you'll choose one of the indoor activities. There's also a lot of ways to connect to nature without actually having to go beyond your porch. There really is an activity for everyone. Being part of the Winter Wellness Passport means that you can be connected to our Facebook community if you do Facebook. And we also have an email newsletter that we send out once a week. And every single person who does a Winter Wellness Passport and completes 12 activities takes a survey and gets a prize. And these prizes are things that hopefully will encourage you to keep spending more time outdoors. We have wool socks, we have hats, we have coffee cups and water bottles. We'll hopefully have some microspikes and yak tracks. So just things that are going to help you continue on your adventures. This year, we're going to be ranking our adventures in activities as high adventure, medium adventure, and mild adventure activity levels. Our mild adventure activity levels are created with the idea of having them for folks who have maybe mobility issues or are at risk for falling. These are Vermont-wide, so invite your friends. And our planning group involves partners and representatives from the aging community. Some key dates to keep in mind: registration is now open. Registration deadline is December 15th. By January 15th, if you've registered, you'll receive your Winter Wellness Passport in the mail. You'll receive your weekly email newsletters starting the week of January 15th. And March 31st is when the program ends. So you have plenty of time to get in those 12 activities or more to get your prize. A lot of folks do all the activities. Some people do 2 or 3. It's really up to you. And we're so excited this year that AARP is sponsoring 600 participants. So this is the promo code that you all can use to get into this program for free. And the program, using this code will allow your registration. It will get you signed up for the email newsletter, and it will ensure that you have that passport mailed directly to the address of your choice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just show you the steps on how to register. And then if you have any registration questions or questions about anything I've said up to this point, you can put them in the chat or raise your hand and we can answer those before we hand it over to Myra to get into some real fun with the programs. So to register, the first thing you're going to do is go to comealiveoutside.com and click on the adult passport page. I've put the link here and this will be sent out to all of you. And I believe that this link will also be sent out in a newsletter to you all as well. When you're on the page, you're going to scroll down to where you see it say order your passports below, and you'll see the Winter Wellness Passport. It says that it's $5, but once you put your promo code in, that's going to go to $0 on there. So you're going to click on that Winter Wellness Passport, and then you add the item into your bag. If you have more than one person in your household, you can click add more, and then that way you can each have your own. Then you'll go to checkout. So you'll click on that button. And this is the important part. You'll see that the total says $5, and there will be an area underneath that says promo coupon or promo code. You'll click on that, and that's where you'll type in 50 plus, and the plus is all capital letters. Once you do that, you'll hit apply. Then in the checkout area, you'll put in your email address and you'll click checkout. At this point, it will ask you for your address. You'll hit continue. It will verify 2 more things, and then it will say process the order. There will be no need for you to put in any credit card information. If you put in that code correctly, it won't ask for that. So if you are asked for credit card information, click back and make sure that you've put that promo code in. Once you complete the order, you'll automatically on your computer screen get a message that says, thank you for your order. It will look like this. And then in your email, you'll have an automatic confirmation as well. If you do need help with registration, you can contact admin at comealiveoutside.com, or you can call this phone number and we'll walk you through the process. So at this point, I'd love to open it up and see if anyone has any questions about registration or the program of what we've talked about so far. And Laura, I can't see if there are any questions, so if you could let me know.
There's nothing in the chat, so I'd say we are good to keep going. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Myra Peffer. Myra is our program director and the mastermind behind this year's program for our Winter Wellness Program.
Mute. Sorry, I'm outside and there were not nice noises, so I'm hopefully that will go away and not come back. So I'm very happy to be with you today. Our Winter Wellness Passport and our Kids Passport have 4 different categories in them. There is make your own adventure. And an example of that is to take a walk in the full moon, or build a campfire, or go outside and do a breathing meditation activity. So there are just several activities in there that you can do, right at your home or your neighborhood or even in your home. And then we have investigate local parks. And so because this was a Rutland-based one, these are Rutland parks, and people can, go visit any of the parks. We also include a whole variety of activities that you can do at any of the parks. So being that this is Vermont, then, you can choose anything. We'll be including some winter activities and links of where you can go in the winter in Vermont for being outside in the winter. So that will be the part of investigating local parks. And then we have a small section about discover local foods, and that might include visiting a farmer's market close to you, or doing a food experiment, going to your local grocery store, or making sugar on snow like this says. And so just trying it. It's funny, all the time I lived in Vermont, I'd never tried it, but I tried it last year and I absolutely loved sugar on snow. It's like eating caramel. So if you haven't tried it, then it really is a fun activity. So we'll have some of those. And then we also have an explore your community section. And so this can include things like in Rutland, we have a sculpture and mural walk. And so our Downtown Rutland Partnership has a map where to go. So we'll include some things like that, like visit a local art museum, or take a walk in your own community and look for art in your particular community. One thing we didn't include on this slide is that we also will be having some Zoom presentations in this passport. And so I'm not going to tell what they are because there's going to be a surprise. So there'll be fun things that people can sign up for, and the presenters will have about 45 minutes to do a program specifically on topics that you might be interested in. So that will also be part of this passport. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what kinds of things are in our passport for adults. I think we can go to the next slide now. So one of the things that was in last year's was this winter nature mandala. And we said, make something. And we got a bunch of pictures of what people had made, that being in the background, that was one of them somebody had made. So that's what we're going to do today, is look at some different nature art things that you can do. And does anyone have any questions about how the passport is set up and the types of activities before I show you a little art here?
And nothing's coming through in the chat. So unless anyone unmutes and asks a question, I think we're all set.
All right, well, Myra, I'm going to stop sharing so that we can highlight your art. So I'll do that right now.
Okay. Can everyone see me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have to confess that I am a quilter and a weaver. So when I hike in the woods, I'm always looking for colors and shapes and sizes and things. And one of the first quilts that I ever made to hang on the wall, I went out and collected fall leaves and then traced them on different fabrics, and I appliqued them onto a blue-gray background and quilted the wind, like the wind was blowing them around. So that was one of my first kind of nature art things that I did in the world of quilting. And when I'm walking with my grandchildren, my pockets always get filled up with treasures, acorns, leaves, sticks, and lots of rocks. So, if that's an experience that you have, you come home with lots of things that you could potentially use in nature art. And so I hope that you've enjoyed walking out in nature and collecting a few things. And one thing I wanted to tell you is I love different kinds of trees. And I'm from Kentucky. I just got back actually last night from Kentucky. And this is one of my favorite trees. This is a sweet gum tree, which doesn't grow up here in New England, but it has this wonderful star shape. The colors in Kentucky aren't as pretty as New England. There's not as many maples and the red oranges. There's more yellows and browns. And the other thing the sweet gum tree has is a sweet gum ball. And so these are fun things that you can use in art as well. So I went and climbed into our storage bin this morning to find something I had made probably 20, 30 years ago out of sweet gum balls. So this is a little wreath that I glued a bunch of sweet gum balls together, and I made a bunch of these to hang on the Christmas tree. So I just find different ways to use nature that can be kind of fun. I don't know of any tree that has something similar to this in New England, but another option though that does grow in New England, this is, I actually bought this one. This is a milkweed pod. So this is the time to collect these. And this was just painted on and made into an ornament so that you can hang it, on your tree again or decorate. And so it's another example of how to use nature for art or decorating. And one of my other favorite trees, which I've never seen it in New England, I've never seen it in Vermont, but is a sassafras tree, which has 3 different shaped leaves. I love this. So when I worked as a naturalist and took kids, to explore trees, I'd say, okay, see if you can find the tree that has more than one shape. So all this grows on the same tree, and I said, okay, you got one like this, one's like a mitten, and one's like your hand closed. And so this is a sassafras tree, which you can use also in some art. So there's lots of fun things that you can do. One thing that, you know, with my grandkids, I'm always trying to think of things that they can do is, you know, leaves don't last very long, but this is a fun way just to say, have a happy fall, send it to a friend, just glue some leaves on a piece of cardstock and write your friendly message, and you can mail it to a friend or stick it on their door, in their door, or something fun like that. So just another way to use some of the nature art. So I'm going to see if I can do this now. Sure. Yeah, does that work?
Looks great.
And you can see the white paper. So I'm just going to make a simple mandala. There's a walnut tree right here. So this is a walnut shell that's partially open. And then of course I love my sweet gum leaves. I have some things running into my picture here. Just to make, you know, just to play around with something that's kind of the shapes and the colors of things. And if you want something more permanent, you know, you can, you know, even use like, I'm gonna take the stem off, a piece of cloth stretched over a board, you know, the kind of thing that you would stretch a frame around. And then you can, the leaves obviously be kind of hard to hook this to it, but then you could kind of decoupage it on there. So using my sweet gum balls, you know, I can make this little mandala. I don't have much space, so I have to make it kind of small, but you know, that's a fun thing to do, just to play around with colors and shapes and, you know, different kinds of items that you have found in the woods. I want to show you one thing. You guys might have to tell me if you can see it or not. Okay, hold on one second. So a fun thing to do in the winter is to make, can you see that one?
Yep, that looks great, Myra.
Good. So is to leave this in the snow somewhere, where along a trail or along a walking path that just sends a happy message to other people. You know, make something kind of big that, you know, people can see as they walk by. So whatever you've collected on in your hikes this fall, you could use to give people some happy art along a trail. Other items that you can use would be, if you have been on vacation or something. I'm going to sweep this away so I can show you this one. Wish I could figure out how to actually save this art. So these are some shells and some bird feathers. This is actually bird feathers from my bird, my pet bird. And so using feathers and shells, acorns, rocks, sticks, there's lots of different items that you can use to make your art. So I keep talking about grandkids, but I have to because they're part of all my nature stuff. So as we were hiking with our grandkids, my granddaughter is very much into fairies. She found these little acorn cups, and then she found a little berry tree. And she said, oh, look, bowls for the fairies, and we can fill them with fruit. And so if you've never built a fairy house with a grandchild, that is just such the fun thing to do. And you really can use your imagination and think about how to make tiny things look like something you might use. I hope you can see those, because when she did that, I thought, oh my gosh, that's too cute. Another thing that you can do with grandkids and with leaves is to create animal art. So this one is an insect, obviously, and you can have them, glue it down and make something fun. The fun thing is picking out the shapes of the leaves so that they can represent different parts of a body. And so I've glued these down, but you can use some things in your garden. My neighbor let me take some little plants and stuff from her garden so I could use them this morning. And things that look like eyes, things that look like wings. So those are just some fun ideas to do with nature. Some can be more permanent, some are just like in the moment, but we'd like for you to share, if you've already created something, to share what you've made. Has anybody already done a little bit of art and they want to share some of their creations? Don't be shy. Anybody have any questions about some nature art or anything else related to the passport? Everybody's so quiet.
I do see you have a couple comments in here. You have a beautiful, what a great idea, and love the textures. Rave reviews, Myra.
Okay. This is also a good time to collect things out of your garden. If you are, a gardener, you could go in and get different leaves and flower petals and things like that. And I did have a piece of art that an artist made for me using feathers and stones, which is one of the most beautiful pieces I have. I should have brought, I'm not even sure where it is, to be honest with you, but it's a deep, it's glued and mounted on artboard and then framed in a nice way. So you can make things more permanent that you can hang up in your house or give as a present.
One of the things, this was one of our most popular activities last winter, and the mindful practice of collecting the items, putting them in the order, people really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I think it's just, it's neat to find them, but it's also very calming to make them. And I think that's why it was such an easy way to experience that this was so popular. So we're really hoping that you all sign up for this program and have a fun winter with us. We had a blast last year, so we're looking forward to making more new friends through the program, connecting more people to each other.
And one last question. So registration for the passport is open as of today, right? So everyone can go sign up for that right now. Is there a deadline to register?
So there's not the deadline to register is December 15th. And we do have the 600 codes. So I would say to sign up as soon as possible, because we don't, the codes might go. We don't know how many people are going to sign up and use those codes. So December 15th is the last date anyone can sign up, but the code is limited to 600. So tell everyone about it and do it ASAP.
Yeah, everyone please share that code with your friends. It's welcome to anyone who'd like to register on behalf of AARP. So thank you. Oh, and someone's asking to put the sign up info in chat or repeat that part.
Yep, give me a second. I'll pop it in there.
And we will be sending out the recording from this that walks you through the steps, as well as the slides that show you how to get registered as well. So that'll come out later this afternoon. And we have another comment, looking forward to collecting stuff with my granddaughter and making mandalas in the snow. Wonderful. Thanks, Joni.
All right, well, that's everything we have, Laura. So if there's not any other questions, please feel free to send out the recording and the PowerPoint. And if anyone has questions, reach out to us, and we are just want to get as many people involved in this program. So whatever we can do to help.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Myra and Arwen, and thank you all for joining us today. So again, the slides and the recording will go out later this afternoon. And in the meantime, if you are just so excited to sign up, the link to sign up is right here in the chat. Arwen posted it in there. So you can click that link and go right for it, and use the code 50+ with plus in all caps. So thank you everyone again. We will hope to see you again soon.